Kung Fu Hot Dog, the channel with bigger tits than Dolly Parton.
One of the greatest animated films ever made. Brilliant. Love this. Fantastic. The animated series, also an all-time classic, which had the character of Mr. Freeze. Victor Freeze, but the surname looked like Fries, so you say it as Freeze. Well, unfortunately now, it seems that when Mr. Freeze went into the frozen echo chamber of Woke over at Warner Brothers, he came back out as somebody completely different. What am I talking about? Well, stay tuned, my Gothamites, and I'll tell you more after this introduction. Yes, he is Batman.
Stop. Your timing is impeccably atrocious.
I could take these off and then put them back on again, eh? Or is that going to be really difficult? What do you think? I don't know if that's going to be worse or better.
Targeted the wrong man.
In Advent Children, she has larger eyes and a rounder face, with a remake backlash resulting in some Japanese players to complain that she is long-faced with angular features, going as far to claim that she now looks like a Western man.
White chicks.
Dubbing some gay art house erotica.
This has to be a mistake! Need a doctor or something! They need help!
Don't worry. There's better for you. And it's right here. Come here. No, I wanted you for so long.
Something's here.
Who is this hero?
Could this really be it?
On Kung Fu Hot Dog. He's the team here to motorboat fun bags and kick ass. And he's all out of titties.
It's a f***ing video game.
Oh, an alleged first look at Suicide Squad kills the Justice League's Mrs. Freeze. Accused of promoting transgenderism. It is. It absolutely is. And I don't know why I went like that in such an effeminate way, because I just do these things from time to time. So that god-awful Harley Quinn right there, which is not the design I would ever say was fantastic. They covered up her titties, man, and made it look fucking ugly. You won't call me ma'am. I am Mama Freeze, and I'll bring you to your knees. Ex-user Manga Lawyer, who's fantastic by the way, reacted to this first look, writing on X, Rocksteady, the developers of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, transformed Mrs. Freeze into a non-binary Karen, they, them. This is wild. It absolutely is. I mean, you can get not Leslie Joseph. Who's Leslie Jones from Ghostbusters 2016? You can get her in a live-action version. That will go down really well, wouldn't it? Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. In a subsequent post, the user added, I predicted this before the game's release, and the backlash was intense. They perceive femininity and the female anatomy as threats to society. Now they've made a character transgender. Take note of Mrs. Freeze's chest. That's not a woman. Yeah, well, exactly. I can't even see any titties. I mean, if Mrs. Freeze had blonde or brunette or red hair, and she had a very attractive face and a low-cut top and her boobs are popping out or squeezing to burst out, I think we could all say, yeah, it's still woke, but I kind of welcome this. But it's funny when you change a character's sex for a video game, you have to make them unappealing and as ugly as possible. I would actually say this Mrs. Freeze right here looks more like Russell T Davies, the man who destroyed Doctor Who. The previous iterations of Harley Quinn, well, let's forget the one on the right, but these two, absolutely goddamn sexy, man. That's what Harley Quinn's all about. With the recent release of Season 1 Episode 2 update, players spotted a tease for Mrs. Freeze. Ex-user Arkham Videos showed a portion of a map that is frozen over, like the Madonna song, and a sign that reads, "Ho ho frozen chicken bites." Whatever could they mean? And as you go on further, right, so am I crazy or did Brainiac just call me freeze? Let's have a listen to this video. View spoiler, don't care.
I didn't expect you to be the weak link in this chain, Freeze.
Oh, I didn't expect you to be a weak in this chain link, Freeze. Yeah, some people are going to say, well, he's probably stumbling on his sentences and meant to say freeze after, but no, that was quite a coherent set of words running into each other. So I think actually it's funny that he leaked the information, Brainiac, who clearly lacked a lot of brain cells when he said that. I mean, it's so funny when you think about it because Rocksteady Games have made no attempt to quash any leaks that have come out about their game. Like when we knew that the character Bruce Wayne was going to be shot dead by Harley Quinn, which makes no sense because that character in the cartoons actually adores Batman like the Joker does. So why she would do that in a video game is Sweet Baby Inc., isn't it? Sweet Baby Inc., the people apparently you must never get mad about, they're only trying to change the toxic face of gaming by making it more diverse and more appealing. Which if anybody tells you one more time that we need that in video games, I will personally go around to their house and slap their mothers and fathers and all the offspring with a big wet fish, because that's what activists deserve in this day and age, a big old slap with a mullet. But if you got a mullet, I might just let you off because mullets are pretty cool. It's quite likely that Mangaloy's accusation is correct. Back in 2020, while Naughty Dog was about to release The Last of Us Part 2, an alleged seasoned artist informed Sausage Roll that video game developers were making female characters look like men to placate adherents to transgender ideology. The artist noted, it's not really about the sexual objectification of women. Women, like men, come in all shapes and sizes, which they do. To say that having big busty women is unrealistic is untrue. This insider then added, this is only true for trans people. A trans woman can't naturally grow large boobs, and not all trans people can afford implants. If you see a game where the women are a little less curvy, it's not because the game's designers are worried about receiving backlash for sexualizing women, it's because they are worried about offending the trans community, which in itself is an offense, because if trans people are telling you, well, you can't be gay anymore, you have to be trans, you've got to be fully trans, then why do people like Leah Thompson get away with murder by joining the Pennsylvania girls swim team, winning for them, but still keeps their Johnson intact? Can anybody tell me where on a normal day that's perfectly fine? Somebody please leave a comment below, please, please. I don't even understand where LGBT Mafia folk have actually complained that their cult, we're going to call it that, is lacking representation in video games. Do they even play video games? The answer is not many of them. Yes, I'm calling them. Not many of you she's and he's out there, you Sheilas.
It's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
From a design standpoint, the designer continued, this is really challenging to the problem. I've had many board meetings about how to tackle this. Trans people want realistic representation in our games, but it's not your games. Video games is for everybody, whether you're straight, bi, whatever. So that I hate that. But if they're represented as too masculine or too feminine, we're going to get offended. That's why you will see a lot of designers nerfing the female form, so to speak, so that the difference between trans women and cis women is a little less noticeable. Which is why, folks, I'm just going to educate you here actually, because when you go onto Google and you search up various images, say like you type in, I don't know, Jill Valentine AI or AI beautiful woman, like a lot of sites I go to in Pinterest, and they're even actually called like something like AI biological woman. What you're staring at is unquestionably a feminine, curvy, busty, beautiful woman of your particular color choice. and that's how it should be. So the fact that I applaud platforms like Pinterest and other AI websites out there that want to show you the male gaze, what actual women and men look like, I applaud all of that, and you can't censor that, can you, LGBT Mafia? There is no way that you can. I mean, in my biog for YouTube and Twitter, I've put myself down as a hetero because I am. And I'll be curious to see if people actually take an issue with that, because apparently with Kyle, a fellow YouTuber and a guy who's absolutely off his rocker, just like me, even he got gaslit because he dared to put the word hetero. So what did he do? He just doubled down on it and put it everywhere, because that, ladies and gentlemen, is biology. That is how we identify ourselves. But unfortunately now, folks, and I do blame the medical industry as well, because they encourage people to get a transgender of sorts, don't they? And they don't care about how you pay for it, as long as you're happy with your lifestyle decision. And I've known a couple of trans people who are going through hell at the moment. One person talked about how they were in a room and how the room became a glowing white light, and suddenly they realized they had to go from a man to a woman, which, you know what, if that happened to them, fine, but I actually call it a fucking mental illness. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I could talk about this subject from here until Kingdom Come, but I've got stuff to do, and I've got Stellar Blade to play as well. And on that one, if you were me, and if I were you, and yeah, let's just all hail the original Victor Freeze. Even the Arnold Schwarzenegger version is a masterpiece.
It's winter forever here in Gotham. The city fathers will have no choice but to give me the billions I need to complete my research.
Why are Western video game companies making women so ugly? And who's this?
Can I ask you another question too about some upcoming games and companies?
Nina, I like her.
One,
she's cool.
Is a huge letdown, which is CD Projekt Red and what's been going on with them. I'm not looking forward to Witcher 4, which they announced. I don't think it's going to be good. So I want to know your thoughts on that, but also for Grand Theft Auto 6 and what's going on with Rockstar, because there's a lot of rumors that they're also doing DEI stuff there, and similar ideologies being put into.
Well, I'm going to say this much, right? Oh, here we go. It's time for another burp again. Lovely. I will say this much. Witcher 4 is going to be dog shit. I know that The Witcher will be of a diverse nature this time round. You can't have Polish folklore anymore infiltrating that Polish developer's game, which is Andrzej Sapkowski must be rolling around thinking, oh my God, why didn't I take out a clause to say you've got to stick to the characterizations of everybody I've written about? Yeah, they've taken that away from him. And GTA 6, well, we'll have to wait and see. I think there's going to be some ESG and DEI nonsense in there. They think even the lead female character might be trans. I don't think she will be. I think she'll be normal. Maybe her lover might turn into something else later on in the game. But whether they take that as a joke or they make it serious, that'll be the next thing. So yeah, man, it's not looking good. It really isn't. But going back to my original point here, and I've got to say, let's celebrate Arnold Schwarzenegger's Victor Freeze, not this monstrosity right here, because bloody hell, if this is the future of video gaming, there's nothing else worth living for, except going back to your shelf and replaying the old 360 games and the PlayStation 3 games, and even the ones before that, actually. I'm looking forward to that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you were me, and if I were you, you should probably come back for the next video.